Now it's working. Guys, I hope everybody is doing well today. I know the sound wasn't working, but it is now, as long as I don't hit it too much. I hope everybody is doing well today. Tell me what you had for dinner. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. My freedom. I love it. Uh, Tonight we are beginning a journey down to Texas that we will go on together. There is a ruling at the end of this journey, but it will be in a couple of days. If you noticed, I even created the thumbnail that said part 1. How on it am I? I haven't eaten either. I have dranken a little bit of my favorite energy drink. So hopefully that kicks in quick. Oh, Grammy, Rita's here, Courtney's here, Mike's here, Hector's here, Vicky's here, Nancy's here, Tiny Piggy's here. Let me just tell you guys that I also will have a video coming out. I know I'm doing breakfast food for dinner tonight too, I think, but later. You got the breakfast supplies. Good job, Courtney. Did Mikey make us all want breakfast for dinner with his poll and the question earlier? Sneaky. Sneaky guy. Anyways, like I said, we are gonna get going. I don't know about this case except that it's long and that I think I have it all. So, we're gonna just explore it together. Um, like I said, it is long, so we're not doing it all in one night. I'm assuming it'll be about 3 parts, so I'm thinking we'll go for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours tonight minimum, just depending on how the testimony goes and how often I feel the need to stop and pontificate, therefore extending the live. Grim, you're going to the Coney Island restaurant tomorrow for dinner on a Greek omelet. Is that what you get there? Okay, here we've talked about this before on a live stream. I literally got shut down in the middle of talking about it because I showed a video. I can't show the video. But I have a weird obsession with um automats. They used to have them in New York and they were like automatic restaurant. Anyways, they hard and horn and harder or something like that. I don't know what the name is, but I watch the videos on the internet. Sometimes they're like old fashioned videos. And they were there till the 90s. So close. Horn and hard art. Anyways, if anybody's been to one of those, I'd love to hear from you. But anytime somebody says New York, I think about that, or Coney Island, I then think New York, then I think Ottoman. Anyways, like I said, we are going to be getting going on watching the video. Right, not that video. That's not that video, dumbass. Oh, also the snow here is fucking nuts, you guys. I'm in trouble. Like, that I'm so glad that I went out this morning. I got off my lazy ass. I went out. You ate there when you were a kid, Hector? Oh my God. Freaking jealous. Um, Anyways, I went out earlier today. They still have some? No, they don't. Do they? An automat? Maybe I should plan a trip to New York. Actually, I do want to plan a trip to the East Coast this year. Were you in it before, Hector? But remember, I got shut down live during that conversation because I was putting it up there. Your poll got everybody hungry, man. I don't know if is that good or bad? I don't. Um, but the consensus of that poll, which is rare. I mean, rarely do you get such a resounding agreement from people that breakfast is in fact appropriate for dinner. But here's the thing, who said it wasn't? I think perhaps the real question is who doesn't believe that and why and where should we put them? Anyways, like I said, we are gonna go and watch this, and then I have a video that I think will come out later, um, that I got a little distracted on earlier. The automat was the predecessor to fast food. So it looked a lot better. I don't know. I don't. Anyways, okay. Let's actually open the video. We've said it now 3 times. Like I said, I don't know what this is all about, so viewer discretion, Paisley discretion is advised. Be discreet. Why is discretion the same? Like it's derived from discreet, obviously, but the quality is terrible, but it's all I could get. Um, why is discretion? I guess being discreet is like being, I don't know, but why viewer discretion? That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Anyways, like I said, we're in Texas and we'll see what happened, won't we?
Okay, the 20th District Court of Travis County is now in session. The Honorable Jessica Mangrum presiding.
All right, good afternoon.
You know what, Judge? You need to wait because we are having a good moment where Chris Engelby, thank you so much, Chris, is donating a membership or gifting a membership. Can you please go ahead and make sure that gifting is turned on the channel? Hi, Pass. I hope you're doing well. You guys, I'm serious. The snow is now, it's more snow than I'm prepared for. I'm just going to say that. It's more snow than I am prepared for. That's what I'm going to say. Thank you so much. I so appreciate it. We're getting it started on a good note here. Let's see what these people have to say. Hi, Presto.
Welcome back to the 200th District Court. We are here again on cause number D1FM12-002379. And let's go ahead and get the announcements again before we proceed.
Your Honor, Haley Hoburn, representing Respondent and Counter Petitioner Jacqueline Wolf, ready and present to go.
Okay. And do you still believe you are going to need a full day, or do you think we might be able to complete this hearing this afternoon?
Jim says full day. Yay, Jim. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Oh my goodness. What is this hearing about? I don't know, Hector. I think it's a custody divorce. I'm gonna say divorce might be custody involved. No, there is custody involved. There's children involved. It's a custody thing. Oh my goodness. Thank you again. You guys are so sweet. I love y'all so much. You're keeping me warm and happy while it snows.
We We have not gotten any sort of discovery. Everything that both parties are using here up until this final hearing, my client was per se, so no discovery was exchanged. I don't know how much time the petitioner is anticipating using. We didn't get a witness list, so I can't guess on that side. For our side, we have, I believe it's 5 witnesses plus the counter petitioner, and quite
Yay! Wow, Chris, thank you so much. Oh my God, Vicky, I wish I could give you memberships. I wish I could give and guess who they go to. I can't. Thank you so much. Honestly, my face at the beginning was shocked because of Chris and his gift, not because she has 5 witnesses, but 5 witnesses does sound like a lot. I really hope these people aren't annoying. Michelle, welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure that you've clocked in for your shift. Hit the like button. We're just getting started. We're literally a minute and a half in, and already, what a night. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
a few exhibits. So I anticipate that if we go through all of that, we will end up using our full 3+ hours of our half of the time.
2.5, not 3.
Sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And for the other side?
Your Honor, my name is Jeff Wolf. I'm the petitioner here. I and too agree with the fact that we're going to need the full time, half hours. I don't have any witnesses to call. I have ample evidence that I want to submit and make sure it's heard and seen. Outside of that, I'm ready to go. But I do fully feel that we're going to need that full time based on everything.
Well, we're going to go today till about 5 o'clock, and then we'll talk about whether what to do about coming back, because I understand there's at least one conflict with tomorrow morning's schedule. So,
Yeah, the main conflict is my conflict. Beverly, 2 months a member. I think that's pretty OG. That's OG. I love you guys so much. Your support is so amazing as I work on getting better fucking internet in Canada. Graham, seriously, live streams are the best. I really enjoy them. I do forget that people watch these later. Hi, people. Hi, lurkers. Hi, people that watch later. Do me a solid. Prove it. Put a comment. Okay.
we'll just do the best we can with the time we have today, and then we'll talk about tomorrow, the next day. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor. And I should be able to do tomorrow afternoon. If we're doing 3 hours today, I should be available by 1 or so tomorrow, is my anticipation after the hearing in the morning.
Okay.
The problem we have is that the witnesses have taken off of work in order to participate, and we might be losing some witnesses by tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon, honey, you might be losing the judge before tomorrow afternoon. Tons of fun carving in the house. I heard you're doing a carving of Creed. I'm jealous. That's okay. I'll wait my turn. Already this sounds high maintenance, but we have a pro se the guy up here, Jeffrey Wolf, I think he's pro se. So again, I'm learning all this with you guys at the same time. So I guess we'll figure it out. We'll see. Like I said, we're not watching the whole thing. This part of it is like 2 hours, 44 minutes. And then the next part is 2 hours and blah, 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 blah minutes. Chuck is here, but BRB going to get a pet check. No problem, Chuck. Please do check on your pets, ladies and gentlemen. I've checked on mine. I don't have any. So we're good. Okay, let's keep going. Hey, Jonathan. You guys? I love it. And Grim did it too. And Grim, I still have this, but I just pulled it out of its thing. But it's okay. Super easy to put in and out. See, we're good. Like, totally good.
Okay, well, not a lot I can do about that. And on the family docket, not everybody gets called on Monday. Some people get called on Tuesday or later. So it's a holiday week. We're just going to do the best that we can. All right, Mr. Wolf, you're the petitioner, and I think it's your modification. And then there's a counter motion for modification. So I'm going to go ahead and ask that we start with opening statements first. That's just a brief opportunity for you to tell me about the relief you're seeking and why.
Okay, Judge. So the relief I'm seeking would be for people to subscribe to the channel, make sure that they've liked the video, and if they're feeling extra generous, if they could go ahead and comment on the video. It's pretty simple. That's really the relief I'm looking for. And honestly, all those things are free. So the only thing preventing you from doing it is your attitude.
And then we'll go to the respondent, and then we'll start with the evidence. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd first like to offer an apology to the court, basically, for my illness on November the 1st and it prohibiting me from being here. In no way was I meaning to waste the court's time, despite any accusations, of course, that were brought on by opposing counsel. It's become habit forming through this process. The amount of time I've spent, the focus and the energy combating basically false accusations by the other party. But today I do promise the court that I will keep my testimony focused on the true reason why I'm here.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry, Mr. Wolf, I've got to interrupt you. I failed to do a couple of things before we got started.
Sure.
You're representing yourself, so in addition to serving as your own lawyer, you're testifying, even though this is an opening. So I need to go ahead and swear you in.
Yes, ma'am.
If you'd raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
I do too, but I apologize. I am not dressed appropriately for court. I think my boobies are out too much for court. What do you think? Do you think these are too much boobs? I think actually this is an appropriate amount of boob. I mean, it's a bold amount of boobage. I think it depends on your role in the court and how smart you are, basically. I know that sounds bad, but in reality, I think the smarter you are, the larger amount of boobage you're allowed to show. However, there's this weird axis where as you get smarter, you show less boob. It's a very funny like XY axis thing. I failed math, okay? But other people that know math will tell you about that.
Okay. And then the other thing is typically in hearings such as this, there is a request to invoke the rule because normally we
Oh my God. The rule is my favorite. So the rule in Texas states, and the rule is something that we all thought really applied, But in reality, in Texas, they have this weird rule that you have to invoke the rule. So, invoking the rule in Texas means that you say, hey, if you're testifying in this matter, if you are a witness, get the fuck out of here. Tiny Piggy, you got crass membership. No more. Thank you, Tiny Piggy. Did you, again, legit. That noise I made when I saw that is legit. That's me going, thank you so much. You are amazing. Look at that. I love the fact that we can gift memberships because honestly, it's one of my favorite ways that you guys can support me through YouTube Daddy because YouTube Daddy, you know how it goes. You understand. And giving to other people is just so beautiful to me. I love it. I'm so thankful. Thank you so much. Oh my God. You guys, what a great Miss Carrie. You guys are I, we gotta be at lurkers at this point, Miss Carrie. Thank you so much. My accountant of the year, always have been. I don't need to wait till the end of the year to tell you that. Um, okay, I have a question about Buddy's background up here in the top. Do we think that that is what is that? A standalone? I have 854. Oh, I'm so excited. We're so close to 900 and then 1,000. Um, I know you did, Miss Carrie, but it's better than a bunch of scammers, right? Right? If you know, you know.
Ask that witnesses remain outside the courtroom until they're called to testify, so they're not influenced by what may or may not be going on in the courtroom. Is there such a request at this time?
Yes,
Yes,
Your Honor.
Okay. And so, Ms. Hobron, you're the one who has the witnesses. Will you just identify for the court everyone who needs to be sent back to the virtual waiting room?
Your Honor, I'm trying to see if everyone that we have is actually here. It looks like we are missing at least one witness who is a little bit older, less familiar with technology. I think she's probably having difficulty signed in. That we can help her out later. We have Desiree Martinez, Nick Barrientos, Erica Sheridan, Jacqueline Wolf, and Lori Watson present to testify. And we will be invoking the rule.
Okay. Well, I'm going to, of course, Ms. Wolf will stay in the courtroom since she's a party.
Sorry, I couldn't touch the button there. So the only thing about the rule is that if you are a party to the lawsuit and testifying, you're still allowed to stay in the courtroom. Tin Man is here. Billy Buzz Smith is here. Thank you for being here. Jonathan's made a great point. He has a diploma. He's just smart enough to mess it up. Okay, yeah, my phone is buzzing at me. Thank you, phone. I so appreciate that. You have literally all day to let me know about shit like that. You choose when I'm live, and that's okay. I mean, it's like your Streamlabs or something. You have the worst timing.
But all of the other witnesses are going to be sent to the virtual waiting room. And before I do that, let me just admonish everyone. If you are going to be called as a witness in this case, you may not discuss the case with either party or any counsel while the hearing is going on. Furthermore, you are prohibited from watching the court's YouTube live stream. If I find out that anyone has done either of those things, texted with a party, anything like that, it's well within my discretion to prohibit you from testifying in these proceedings, and I probably will do so. So follow my instruction and simply wait in the waiting room.
Wait, I have a question. What if your family member was an asshole? Okay. And they were going through litigation and you were just like, God damn it. You are an asshole. And you heard this admonition at the beginning. If you could sabotage your own testimony. You could text them or the other party on purpose and then go and tell on yourself. I mean, the judge didn't say, I'm going to put you in jail. She just said, I'm not going to let you testify. Well, if that's what I want in the end. Oh. Again, I have a deviant mind.
Until you're called to testify. Okay. And Ms. Seeger, if you could move all of the non-party witnesses to the waiting room at this time. Okay, let's see. All right, that has been accomplished. Now we are in the virtual courtroom. All of the witnesses who are not parties have been.
Look at Chuck. Chuck, you're just saving our ass right now. You have to get going. We're going to have a great night and an even better tomorrow. We are going to hit the like button. Thank you for reminding me to take my meds. Where are they? Everybody else, take your meds, please. Okay, I'm going to find my meds, then I'm going to take them. All y'all think about taking your meds. If you don't take meds, come down to the chat. Tell us what that's like. Bye, Chuck. Thank you.
Removed. And Mr. Wolf, now you may proceed with your opening.
Thank you, Your Honor. Basically, throughout this process, it honestly broke my heart to see that my ex-wife's motives, after seeing the discovery that she brought forward, has appeared to be more for reimbursement of funds. You know, one thing, when my children were born, I made a promise to them that I would always make them first and foremost.
This is, hi, looking at legal stuff. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, looking at legal stuff, we'll be having her first live stream performance this coming weekend featuring, is this released yet? Looking at legal stuff, I will not say it until you tell me that that is allowed to be said. But there's a special guest, I believe, that is coming, and I will definitely be clocking in and making sure that I hit the like button, checking her out, looking at legal stuff. And I also, how much snow do you have, dude? Like, I'm worried about you because I have a lot of snow and you are way up island compared to me. Oh my God. Are you serious right now? Like, I can't open a Gatorade? That's sad. Oh, it's very easy to open once I close the lid part. Okay. Feel like a bit of an idiot. Looking at legal stuff, is that okay? To say who's on this weekend or what? I hated these parts of Gatorade. Oh, I can talk about it. Okay, great. Biggin is gonna be with Looking at Legal Stuff live. Look how fun that's gonna be. So we have to make sure to check in this weekend to make sure to give support and likes and comments and chats, everything we need from Miss Looking at Legal Stuff, please and thank you. Ooh. Okay, meds are over here. I put them down. We gotta take them. Obviously, the energy drink has kicked in, but now we need some meds and we'll balance her out. Let's keep going. Oh, what court is this? I don't know. I'll send you the link later. I don't know. I will 6 inches. I think it's well, we have that. It's seriously, we have that. I know. Yes, and we are all about creators supporting each other, Grim. Hundy P. Hundy P. Couldn't do this without all the other creators out there that are helpful. Could do without some of the ones that aren't helpful, but you know.
And keep them a priority when making decisions. Despite how different our situation is than what I anticipated, that goal is one that remains constant as I continue to prioritize my boys in their best interests and well-being. In the 11 years we've been divorced, I had hoped that things would get to a point that it would be improved and things would improve for them, that we would all come together and work towards a common goal. But life happens, and what has transpired over these years of being divorced, I feel like I owe it to my children to be here today and do what I'm doing because I've been asked by them and given a blessing by them to do so.
Again, so yeah, this is going to take us a long time. Already, I can tell you that. My Gatorades have a lid? Yeah. Sports lid. The spouses are over here, Hector. This is the ex-wife. That's the ex-husband up there. Yeah, sports lid, this is called, I think. A sports lid. AI generated images for video thumbnails. No. Vicky! Vicky, she figured it out, or her son did. Thank you, Vicky's son, or Vicky. Wait, I can't. Just like the pills have not kicked in yet. Oh, AI generated images. No, I don't use AI generated images. I don't. I do use AI for a few things, but they're very innocuous, I would say. Our Gatorade has a tamper lid. That's weird. Is that weird? You don't? I still have the craft dinner here from last night. Um, yeah, everything here has a tamper lid, pretty much. And I got this at the dollar store. It's scientifically formulated, guys. Scientifically formulated. For hangovers, I think. Hi, Shadow Night Wolf. Thank you for being here. Okay, like I said, this is going to take us a really long time. We are 8 minutes, 41 seconds into 5 hours. Okay, and it's taken me 35 minutes. This is not a good sign. Not a good sign. I mean, it's a good sign for you if you like watching long streams, but for me, probably not a good sign.
I want to let you guys know that this isn't something I'm doing for me, despite of her. It's something I'm doing, again, for these two boys. But in order to do this, I had to compile a substantial amount of evidence in order to show the differences between my ex-wife and I and the way we parent, our standards of living, and basically how and what we put our focus and energy towards. With Brayden now being 17 and Connor at the age of 13, I know how imperative a good role model is. You know, focus needs to be on education, future planning, establishing and maintaining good habits, and instilling valuable life lessons to make sure that we that my kids are making the right choices going forward. My brother and I think I have a lot of similarities because my brother and I share the exact same age difference. And we were fortunate to have good parents growing up, which has kind of instilled my values and my reasons for how I parent my children. But it's been challenging instilling all these positive ideals with my kids, with two split households, with two completely different worlds. I faced issues and concerns with health and hygiene, especially with, these ages, and reinstilling just basically good habits.
13 and 17, I mean, you're pretty much getting past the time of instilling good habits, are we not? I mean, you can reinforce them as I'm literally looking for deodorant. Oh, I have many ball gags. Should I go grab a few, Hector?
I've faced trouble with, ensuring that they're dropped off and picked up for school on time, or making it to school for that matter on time. And I will show that within my exhibits. Stability and structure is a big thing for children. And receiving unconditional love and support in that home is not always there. And it's something I try to focus on here. So I try to make it a priority for my kids to always have a safe place where they have resources to study and practice sports and band, and an environment that basically fosters creativity and focus. With that being said, I've worked really hard to create that strong bond with my children as well, to make sure that as they grow up, they trust and can open up to me, that they feel comfortable with telling me things, whether it be what they did for the day, or to ask a question, or just a listening ear. That's often important. But today in the sport, it's unfortunate that I have to stand here and pronounce the differences that have been created between my ex-wife and I in her attempt to sever that bond. I want to make sure that this no longer basically has the ability to happen, and my boys are able to grow up in a household where they're appreciated, motivated, and that they don't become robots, behind a screen. And
Don't become robots. What the fuck? Is that a possibility? Is that something that you have to worry about? Because I haven't. That never came up. That was never a concern to me. I have a daughter who's 15, and yeah, I mean, I was never concerned about her becoming a robot. Also, Chris, thank you so much. I got all night too, baby. All night. What is going on in this case already? Yeah, we have one pro se and one repped, and that's always a disaster waiting to happen. Also, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm in a different chair tonight. Like, I've set things up a little bit differently. I guess you can't tell because of the green screen, but I'm more comfortable in this chair. I'm like a little more dancey, a little more excited. And I'm further away from the green screen, and I think it works a little bit better.
in a technology world, because that's so easy to have happen. I want them to have direction that they need, and a foundation that comes from simply having a place of their own to learn and grow, to form good habits. But I've learned that my boys have been deprived of these things and these essentials in the other household, whether it be a space of their own or simply have more than just their electronics available to them. My oldest one, he had an issue where I had to discipline him, and I was going to do so by way of the phone, because he wasn't using the phone for what was important and a phone is needed for. But I couldn't even.
Well, your kids are robots, so they are going to need their phone because that's how they process things. And wait, if I knew kids could be robots, I would have had them. Love it. Thank you for being here. Chris Engelby, has Streamlabs yet popped it up? No. Streamlabs, can you report to my office? Report to my office later.
I found myself combated with the fact that his response was, "That's fine, I understand your reason, but you're taking away the only thing I have available to me when at my mom's for me to do." And so I had to find a different way to go about that, which wasn't a problem, but at the same time, it brought more concerns. During these ages, as parents, we have to remember things that will change from when they were kids, such as situations that may surround them and peers and peer pressure, having to make decisions even related to those new and different situations. Or perhaps it entails privileges that come with age, such as the ability to drive, where as a parent, you're left only to fall back on the trust that we've established and the good habits we've helped develop.
What is he saying? I actually speak pretty good English. I actually speak English quite well. Hmm. It sounds weird. Did he get Chat GPT to write this? Oh, maybe he did. Allegedly, in my opinion.
But when this is all jeopardized by one parent or a parental role, it doesn't embody those habits themselves, and it allows them to spend what time they have with their kids on the sidelines, maybe not putting in the effort or the right focus in order to provide the best possible situation for the children. And without that effort, you often lack the ability or desire to even have the energy or focus and or be able to pull that away from yourself. And in my case, put towards these two amazing boys. I fully believe that balance is important and not easy to maintain, as the variables that I see being very difficult and challenging for these kids are endless. And it happens because every kid's different. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't manage and balance the time that we spend and appropriate that time in ways that benefits the kids. Otherwise, it does them no justice.
Oh, Pass, could you see me when I got up? Not wearing pants?
With all that being said, the biggest blow was not the unethical and unprofessional, hurtful, malicious things that have been said and continue to be said about my character, and that of my soon-to-be fiance, who in fact shares my goals and love and effort for these children and has done nothing but be a positive role model for them. It's hard to understand why my ex-wife, out of all the relationships I've had, seems to have trouble with this one when the kids only speak so highly of their situation here. I understand that none of us are perfect. I'm not here to say that I can create a perfect world for them and I'm without fault. I own those faults that I have. I'm not perfect, and the reality is that this is a divorce. And the most difficult decision I had to make with this divorce was one where I had to decide, due to infidelity, whether I wanted to continue. And I decided to give it that second go. So I taught my kids a lesson that it was important when you have something like a family that you give it your all. But when that went sideways, I had to ultimately end it, which is basically what brought us here today.
So I told my children to try once. If you fail, give up.
My hope is that the court can see with the testimony and the evidence that I have that truly make a decision based on the best interests of the children. That's all I can ask for, to see the environments that they have surrounding them at each parental household and what's fostered within that household and what it will do for them as they grow into these very important ages. Focuses like school maintained for the 13-year-old, and if it's troublesome somewhere, that needs to be identified and called out. And it's not my intention to put blame to the other party, but it's my intention and it's my duty as a parent, I think,
He said duty.
to make sure I give these kids a fighting chance to have what they need in order to thrive and become young adults. Remember, these are two boys, and those two boys need a father figure and need, if anything, just a figure in its own that's strong and has these beliefs and can follow that structure and create that pattern and those habits that allow them to make good decisions and prosper in life and stay motivated to do things that will make them better humans, basically. So with that being said, Your Honor, I do close my opening statement and just wish that the court keeps that in mind as we go forward with what is shown as evidence.
Okay, well, Mr. Wolf, so this is a modification.
Oh, I apologize. Yes, I should state what I'm looking for.
Well, two things.
Yes,
For a
ma'am.
modification, you have to be able to establish there has been a
substantial change in circumstance. I already know what the judge is going to say. Not that I'm a lawyer, of course not, but a substantial change in circumstance that warrants a modification of the agreement. Okay, so it's a modification he's looking for. So, okay. And let's just do a little recap here. So they have been divorced for 11 years and he's still hung up on her cheating on him. Jesus.
Substantial and material change since
Ma'am.
the last orders put in place. I have not heard what that is, nor have I heard what your requested relief is.
Sure. I apologize for that. I had that.
Well, technically, Miss Carey, almost all legal proceedings would be considered lawsuits because of the way that they're filed. If we're going to get sticky about it, even a modification is a lawsuit to modify. But, so it is a lawsuit. I should start putting lawsuit in all of my titles. But this is a custody hearing and it's going on for a long time. Like I said, shut up, Paisley.
Statement in my testimony. I was using that for that, not knowing that should be a part of this. I didn't want to have the length of the opening statement be too long, but my desire is that I maintain full custody of the children and that I'm able to make the decisions for the children going forward. Because of the concerns I've had with how the co-parenting aspect has been, the communication between myself and my ex-wife, and the following of our decree, or how she has followed our decree. Things that are a concern are the fact that she's gone beyond what doctors have given their advice on or their diagnosis and created a self-diagnosis essentially and followed those reasons for what she wanted to do versus listening to doctors and so on, and including me for that matter in that whole process. Her evictions, she's had 2 evictions over 2 years. She's had her cars repossessed. It is clear and apparent that just from her own attorney and witness statements and so on, there's instability. There's trouble with finances and financial hardships. All these are not something I'm condemning her for. However, it impacts my children. My children do not have a place of their own to call their own space. My youngest son sleeps on a couch in an office that's open and actually has not slept in his own room in over 3 years. And this carried from the last apartment over to this place. So their only available items within that household are electronics, and all the other items that they have are in storage. So the only thing brought to and from the households is literally 2 bags, one of clothes and the other of their electronics. And the battle that I had with my oldest was the mere fact that he was clear when he said, I don't have anything else at the house to entertain me or to be an outlet for him, a way for him to reach out or just.
You're going to tell me that he came to you and said, Dad, I get so much screen time. I hate it. Whoa. I hate it. Could you get mom to enforce less screen time? Like that never happened. Your 17-year-old did not come to you and be like, wow, I really wish I could get some more outdoor time. And if he did, well, why don't you fucking teach him?
Zone or Zen, whatever it may be. And my concern is that the attendance with the school, my oldest son, who was straight A's, went to failing school as of his 10th grade. As I transitioned him to a new school that he requested to be at to flourish in baseball, that became evident by the counselor. And we had to make up classes in order for him to get to where he needed to be just to graduate. And that was all due to attendance concerns and lack of homework and being a part of that life and not allowing me to have access. And I know that it's up to myself as a father to get that access, but with the schools the way they are, they only allow one portal with one sign-in. And she kept saying, I'll get you that information. I'm having trouble. I'm calling this and emailing this. I never got it. The truant, he's had so many attendance issues that he's gotten truancy letters. And it's only during the time that they're with her. I mean, I have a calendar that outlines our weeks, and the amount of excessive absenteeism and the reasons behind that don't add up. It's not, there's many reasons why they're invalid. For instance, a funeral
Oh, now it's working. Hi. Hi, microphone. How do you do? If he had full custody, he would have said, I want to. No, actually, he wouldn't be making the motion, Hector. So he's motioning to get full custody. So I'm going to go ahead and say that he doesn't currently have full custody. Also, we hit 8:55. 8:55. Hello.
That they knew nothing about or knew the person of, but because she had to be in a certain place, she decided to have him leave early from school, still at a borderline with his grades, just so she didn't have to have him not have a way home when she could easily reach out to me, who I live 2 miles from his school, not even, and I have well the ability to pick him up at any time. My kids were forced to stay after school for almost an hour or more at a time.
Oh, no. An hour or more after school. My God. I used to spend every day after school. My mom was going to school herself. Very handy. And we were there till like fucking nighttime. Like dark a lot of the time.
A period of time in which she asked friends of ours from the baseball family if they could pick the kids up, probably because hopefully she felt the same way I did, that time could be spent much better doing homework, following up with studies, relaxing, just whatever it may be, instead of being at school and forced to sit there or be in an extracurricular program that really embodied just running around and playing with friends for my youngest. So, but she never reached out to me for those things. And it's merely because she wanted to ensue a power. This whole thing has been about a power struggle. She's used their schedules and changing their life around from the last 9 years of a balanced schedule to that of a schedule that we had for 1 year while she worked at a job, the first year of divorce, which the decree was stated, but we mutually agreed, and it benefited the children to go to a week on, week off, where the week wasn't split in half, and we can be consistent with the homework that was due from the start to the end of the week. And this allowed the kids to flourish. Their grades didn't suffer; they did well. But this transition, these evictions, the fact that their bedroom furniture was repossessed and that they don't have their own space, and even when she had a separate room at the last apartment, which was supposed to be a shared space, she didn't manage that shared space. And because of that, my son could not sleep because my older one was left to be able to game till 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, or be on the phone with friends. And that disrupted my youngest one's ability to sleep. And at that time, he was especially concerned with school. So he has since then slept in the living room.
Mr. Wolf, this has gone well beyond any opening statement. So I'm going to need to cut you off and save it for testimony at this point in time.
I understand, Your Honor.
Ms. Hobron, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This modification, the petitioner filed first about 15 months ago. We filed an answer and counter petition, but not before a TRO was filed. I had about an hour notice before I attended that TRO hearing in which it was denied. We did temporary orders in which we were ordered by the court to continue on the orders in the original divorce decree. So the evolution of this case, initially I came involved with this case on a limited scope basis as needed just to help the respondent with very discrete tasks, some settlement negotiation, attending that TRO, attending temporary orders. After the fall, my client was completely exhausted of funds, but I can say personally that she is a wonderful, magnanimous person who I ended up becoming personal friends with during the course of the year that we've been.
What? She's magnanimous and I became personal friends with her? Did she just fucking say that? That's a weird thing to say in your opening statement. I don't think that hits as hard as she wants it to in the right way that she wants it to. I think in any other situation, at a traffic stop, as a lawyer, at the school as a lawyer, at a workplace as a lawyer. You could get away with that, and it would literally be a good statement. Like, I, as a lawyer, like this lady. But in front of a judge, I don't think that that works the exact same way. And I think that this might backfire in a way. Look at his little crooked smile, by the way, that I just noticed. Like, how do I do that? Anyways, um, that's just a weird statement. They're rubbing holes. Scissor me, daddy or mommy.
Waiting on this hearing. She's been working multiple jobs and unfortunately was not able to get ahead financially in order to retain other counsel. I'm currently going through disability proceedings, as I said this morning. It's very difficult for me, stamina wise, to go a full day. But our options here were for
Did the judge say she's going through disability proceedings for her, like, personally? Or sorry, the lawyer? What? Look at the judge's face too. This is gonna take us so long. Oh my God. This is gonna. It's been an hour. Mm. I feel so bad. We haven't even got through opening statements. That's okay.
Miss Wolf to assist me when I have fatigue issues so that she had some access to justice, or for her to have no representation whatsoever here. I think, as you can kind of gather from the opening statement, Mr. Wolf has a very detailed view of how he sees things in the world. However, for our part, we're coming with witnesses and physical evidence and testimony of 2 decades worth of building levels of coercive control, financial abuse, verbal and emotional abuse, penalizing the children by failing to feed them because he's unhappy with their mother. We're going to show evidence that my client is always been responsible for enrolling the children in school, for their medical needs, for taking them to doctor's visits. We're going to show evidence that my client is currently in possession of the children Monday through Thursday. So if there is a missed school day, of course, it's most likely to happen on her day, but we will show evidence that these healthy children are leaving her possession and coming back ill. And so the reason so much illness is being handled during her possession period is a number of factors that we will definitely explore during the course of the evidence in order to substantiate that point. What we're asking for, Your Honor, has changed over the course of time. Initially, the counterpetition, in response to what was petitioned for against the respondent, there was an attempt to stick by some sort of week-by-week schedule, try and continue to maintain joint managing conservators, efforts to mediate, that kind of thing. It's simply not working. It's not going to work. And ordering these parties to continue to be joint.
Chris asks for Dr. Pepper. Chris, I added Dr. Pepper to my Amazon wish list just because you asked about that. Just so you know. My Amazon wish list is linked on my link tree, by the way, guys. And I put a bunch of different things on there. I wish there was a way that, well, anyways, we'll talk about that later. But if people want me to try Dr. Pepper, I sort of want to try Dr. Pepper. I know I could buy Dr. Pepper here, but Dr. Pepper, pop's expensive here too. You know how much pop it costs? Pop costs like $8 $8 for 12. A Stanley Cup, it's on there. But I would never want, that's too much. I mean, that's craziness. I know, but I put a bunch of funny things on there. I also put some cuntamol, which is like a funny thing. Anyways, if you have something that you think I should put on my wish list, send me an email.
managing conservators is endangering the children. On that, I think Mr. and Ms.
We need to bring the fucking mood down, lady. Like, just talking about my Amazon wish list, and now you're fucking like, dude, can we? Whatever. Let's just keep going, Pace.
Wolf both agree that it is time that changes. We are asking, however, that Miss Wolf be named as sole managing conservator, that a standard possession schedule be put in, that standard child support be put in, that standard medical support be put in. We will demonstrate the financial ability of my client and the reasons for her having financial struggles, which is in large part for being solely responsible for many of the bills over the years, medical bills for the children, without receiving any sort of support, which is what the original order called for, was splitting medical support, and otherwise they had 50-50 custody. So no child support was ordered. My client, the respondent, the mother, was ordered to be the original recipient of child support if it was ordered. Their initial decree was done between them on a form without any advice of counsel. And the testimony that we're going to present is basically, it has been an unacceptable document for the way these two have operated pretty much since the first year. They were able to collaborate initially on a lot of things, on what the schedule should be, but that has deteriorated substantially in the past 4 or 5 years. So we're asking the court to just give the people who are witnesses the opportunity to speak to their knowledge as to who they believe should be primary, what is in the best interest of the children, and that some relief can be granted here.
Okay, well, are you calling a child custody evaluator? Or are these just lay witnesses?
These are lay witnesses of just people testifying to what they've seen as far as the parents handling different responsibilities. They're also testifying to the drug use by Mr. Wolf. They're testifying to abusive behavior. There's their first person testimony, but we do not have an expert for this. It's going to be in the court's discretion what if they feel the evidence is persuasive one way or the other.
Okay, well, they can testify about what they know and what they've seen and heard, but child custody evaluators typically are the only ones who recommend to the court access and possession or primary. So I just want to make sure that's clear for the record.
Yes, Your Honor. None of them are testifying as experts. They do have, from their experiences, their personal opinion on the well-being and safety of the children, because they all know the children, about what would happen for if either side was granted primary possession and the other one was only on visitation. I will limit my line of questioning in order to be very narrow and focused on that without calling for speculation.
All right, Mr. Wolf, that takes us through openings. You may call your first witness.
Okay, so I'm not necessarily going to call a first witness. I want to speak to the witnesses that they have, who actually have spent no time with me, who haven't been a part of my life at all within the last several years. By several, I mean more than 4 or 5 years, 6 years for that matter. And when they were a part of my life.
Objection, Your Honor, relevance. I don't understand why the witnesses would have to be interacting with Mr. Wolf directly for them to have interacted with the children and testify to my client's ability.
Okay. I didn't hear a legal. Was the legal objection relevance?
It's relevance. I don't understand.
Overruled.
Okay.
All right. So, Mr. Wolf, just to clarify for the record, it seems as if you were calling yourself as your first witness in your case.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Let's get psyched up. Okay, we're going to get psyched up for this case because we're doing it together. We're going to learn something from it. I'm really hyping myself up right now because divorces are wearing. They're wearing on people. Custody battles are wearing because most people, when you're an outsider looking in on this, it is so obvious how childish, not the children are being. I'm not worried about the children. It's never the children. I mean, you worry about the children, but it's not them causing problems. It's the adults causing problems. And I just, I, I mean, I don't know. Again, this is my theory. I have a weird theory. We'll get back to it in a minute. Let me ramble for a moment. Um, I have a theory about people that get tattoos, like a lot of tattoos. If you have a lot of tattoos, that's okay. This may not apply to you, but I have a theory, okay? And it's sort of twofold. The first theory is there are people that like pain and they get a lot of tattoos because they enjoy the pain. And they don't realize that you can inflict non-permanent pain on yourself and still get a very cool experience. But you can't get exactly the same experience of tattooing because what I actually think most tattoos are, especially the big ones, is like paid therapy slash friendship. Because that person has to talk to you for fucking however long you do that. That seems it's it's like a little bit of a hostage situation to me. Um, and it's not that tattoo artists don't want to talk. I'm just saying, like, as a person getting a tattoo, like, you may not even realize it, but perhaps your body's like, I need to talk to somebody for 6 hours and they cannot leave. Like, I need the acceptance of no rejection. I will take somebody needling my skin in exchange to be able to speak freely for hours and the person not leave. And here's the thing, I have not a tattoo on my body, not a single one. Am I a pain slut? Yes, we all know that. We've talked about that many times. But um I'm also so forgetful and ADHD that I don't have the want to get tattoos. Anyways, let's continue. Thank you for letting me ramble.
You may testify in the narrative form since you are representing yourself. So I need you to focus your testimony just before you start. The divorce was 12, however many years ago. I'm not interested in the divorce in any way, shape, or form. I'm interested in the modification motion and what evidence supports whatever it is you're asking the court to do, which I don't think you really told me in your opening. So now might be a good time to tell me what you're asking for and why.
Sure. Well, I am also asking for not joint, but sole custody of the children. More importantly, just the fact to be a sole conservator and make the decisions for the children. The way the decisions have been made have been in bad faith, and it's without proper research and time spent, including both households, to understand the overall picture of the children's situation versus just a one-sided thought or approach or statement. The standard possession order is also something I'm looking for. I'm not seeking child support. And in fact, I will even put a clause within that standard, visitation schedule that if the kids want to see their mom, they are welcome to, as long as things are, accounted for beforehand and that it's able to be done. And vice versa, if the mom wants to see the kids. So my thing is not to take the kids away. My problems are the standard of living. I can introduce evidence such as P12, which in the TRO hearing, it states that, opening counsel, let me just say this. Opening counsel mentioned.
Let me just say this, sir. If you were bringing up another hearing, look at the judge's face. The judge I mean, we as law nerds, we understand, right? Well, we don't give a fuck what was said during the other hearing. This is this hearing. You need to fucking talk now about this. I don't give a fuck what that like again. The lawyer, no, it's not. I mean, I think the quote is the lawyer who represents himself has a tool for a client. But and in this case, he is a lawyer because he's pro se. So the lawyer that represents himself has a fool for a client.
Some things that are of concern. Some of the things such as abuse and other things that they are insinuating, unless they were here to witness, it's hearsay. It's just what those other people have said. I've not known these people, so I want to have that kind of rectified out. But furthermore, I want to testify to what I can prove. And that's the living conditions that they currently live in and were forced to live in, despite the order made by the judge during the TRO hearing. I think the video was taken, no. When she lived with Kevin and Lauren, it was required by the court that the kids had their own space, and that the kids had their own beds. There was testimony provided by the other party that stated that I was abusive and that I was arrested and for assault with a deadly weapon on a homeless person downtown, and that I used her vehicle for things that I did not use it for. And
Rank those on the same level for me. Fucking do that. What is happening? First of all, sir. Oh my God, it's so frustrating. If you didn't bring that up, nobody else would. Previous bad acts like that are not admissible in the same sense. Oh my God, so. And this is why you have a lawyer. Because you know what? Lawyer would not come out and say, well, my guy beat up a homeless person and stole her car and used it, allegedly. Like, what? Like, the beds are great. Exactly, Dana. Like, like, what is happening right now? Now he's opened the door. Exactly. He's opened the door. And he's going to complain about this later. Later on, I have a funny feeling when he reminisces about this night years down the road. Okay? Years. Because you know, everybody has that person in their life who's been through a nasty divorce and who got the shit end of that stick and who still talks about it. And now, as court people, do you not find that a little weird? Do you recognize that most likely they pissed somebody off at some point in a weird way? Because at the beginning, I recognize, and I know, but that's not always the case. I know that, Mike. But like, I'm talking about people that, you know what I mean. Anyways, I know somebody who used to say, he used to claim that they made him pay like $30,000 a month. I was like, dude, if you don't make $30,000 a month, I think you could like really prove that so simply. That you can't be forced to, well, but I used to make it. I'm like, dude, I think you're just stuck on that. Believe me, when I've told you that I have watched near thousands of fucking friend of the court reassessments for child support, etc. You'd have to be in some really high profile contentious divorce proceeding for the judge to be like, I don't give a fuck. You're like, no, it just does not work like that.
That the kids were scared of me, and none of that was true. And with that being said, and the fact that we couldn't agree, which is why the actual judge instilled that old schedule of the decree.
All right, Mr. Wolf, I need to interrupt you because what happened at the prior hearing is not what
Sure.
I am deciding today. And I want to make sure you're aware the Texas Family Code has a presumption that the parties should be named as joint managing conservators.
Yes, Judge. Sorry. And so, as a reminder, we are in Texas. Yeah, it wasn't 30, but it was like 10, I think he said, literally. Okay, Chris, take that call. Everyone, please be quiet. Chris is on the phone. Just whisper amongst ourselves while Chris is on the phone. So, yeah, there's a presumption, though, in Texas of joint managing conservatorship. And Judge Jay Webster is a great example of this because he always explains to these guys who walk in there with this weird chip on their shoulder that there's this automatic presumption and we are good. Like he's not going to enforce that. He's going to make it even in the sense. But no, we're not going to wait on Chris. We're going to keep going, Hector, because we have to get through this. I only made 3 thumbnails, and I'll be damned if I go back and have to remake part 4 thumbnail. No, I made a part 1, part 2, part 3 with ruling thumbnail, and we're going to get there.
Unless certain factors can be met, that is a presumption that the law has. So you need to focus on trying to convince the court that those factors are in place so that you should be named sole managing conservator, which I take to be your request.
Okay, well, I can speak to the fact that she does not have a place where the kids have a space of their own. I can speak to the fact and show evidence to the fact that.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, they do not have a room in which they have of their own. The rooms, she rents 2 rooms out of a house, and within those 2 rooms, she has one that she stays in and that she spends the majority of her time when with the kids in, and then the boys have a room that they were supposed to share, but the managing of that shared space has been absent, and therefore there's no shared space. My youngest son has basically been occupying an office and sleeping on a couch this entire time while at this residence.
Okay, well, just go ahead and move his bed into the office, and now that's a fucking bedroom. I think in this day and age, I'm not in a fucking real bedroom right now. I sleep in here on the couch a lot of the time because I like sleeping on a couch because I'm lonely. That's sad. But he's a robot. He doesn't sleep, he plugs in, dude. Can we get this right? Like, your story is changing left, right, and center. Is he a fucking robot? Is he a kid? Does he need a bed? Does he need a charging port?
When at Kevin and Lori's, the requirement that she had beds for them, proper beds, they were sharing a space with her on her bed, and she bought them cots, which I have as evidence, versus a bed. When she mentioned that she clearly had beds for them, she's going to illustrate this fictitious thought of how they live when their prior apartments were infested with roaches. And one of the witnesses that they're bringing today has and will testify to that as long as they are under oath and telling the truth. And we're personally a part of those experiences with me. They're sick. She's mentioning that they come home sick from my care. They do not. I'm prepared to show the attendance shows that.
And thank you, Jim Huntsman. What a man. Right in the chat, right here. Jim has the solution, sir. Buy him a fucking bed. Deliver it. Do you know how much, again, Judge's side eye right now is beautiful. A beautiful a beautiful pause. But think about this. Seriously. Hi, Chris Engleby's boss. Oh my God. I would love to leave your boss a voicemail, Chris. That'd be fun. No, but seriously, what the fuck? Just here's the thing. This is what I've realized, right? Is that when you have a problem and instead of coming up with a solution or allowing somebody else to have a solution, you just whine about it, it doesn't look very good. If he came in here and said, Your Honor, I I want full custody of these children. I'm really concerned about their supervision when they're at their mother's house. I'm concerned about them each having their own space. I personally had to buy them beds at her house and at our house. I personally have bought them activities to do at their mother's house because it appeared that all she was providing them with was electronics, and I didn't agree with that. And I also have taken it upon myself to engage with them more outside because that's what I'm saying should be done. So those are the reasons. Mike, you're so sweet. Thank you. Please make sure you got gifting turned on, you guys. But seriously, Mike, thank you so much. Streamlabs, literally put it on the screen. Like, do it. Thank you so much, Mike. Love you. You're so great. But seriously, Sashina, thank you for being here. But do you know what I mean? Like, if he was able to come to the table saying what I just said and saying, I was so worried about my children that I supplied them with this, that, and the other, it would be hard for her to come back from that. And he would look really good. And the judge would say, and the judge would weigh that in a different way. I think that sometimes people, especially engaged in custody situations, don't recognize that pulling a child out of that situation, and I mean pulling them out of that situation by eliminating that. Let's step around the hurdles here. So if they need a bed, go buy a fucking bed. How many times you write bed without Googling it to try and figure out how much it costs? She bought them a cot? Well, that sounds like she was trying. Thank you, Mike. But seriously, at some point, I think that she, if she's literally strapped for cash, working on it, and has only the ability to buy cots, and you're sort of sneering at that, that actually doesn't hold a lot of weight with me. Again, are you able to buy beds? If you're not able to buy beds and she's not able to buy beds, then it sounds like that's just a family way. But if you are able to buy the beds and you're just watching her struggle with your children as a pawn, I don't think that that looks as good as you think it does, my dude. And like putting that off until the power move here would be like, Your Honor, I wasn't about to wait until our hearing until these children could have beds. I ordered them mattresses. I sent them bed frames. I fucking got IKEA gift cards. I don't know. But I can tell you right now that would hold so much more value to the judge. And because the children are out of that predicament doesn't take away your doing that. And I think that's what people don't get, is that they think the judges are just as simple as they are. Oh, if the kid has a bed, the judge isn't going to realize that I paid for the bed. Yeah, you know what? Judges are really smart. They are paid a lot of money and they've gone to a lot of school and they actually take a lot of pride in paying a lot of fucking attention. Okay? And so the judge will indeed know that. And if you had a lawyer, I bet that's what your lawyer would tell you to do. Your lawyer's not going to be like, oh, well, tell them, yeah, we'll see them in a month and a half. They'd say, well, can you buy them a bed? I mean, again, these are the things that I'm a bit of a solution person as opposed to a fucking fight it out extensively in court type of person, regardless of loving to watch people do that in court. To me, also, there's not really shame in having, there are some camping cots and cots that are way nicer than some people's beds. So I think there's also a little bit of privilege at hand here. Like, oh, the kid has its own room, but we call it an office, is a little bit different than like we keep him under the stairs, right? So I think there's a way that he could have improved his kids' lives here without being as detrimental to his own case. He literally, again, when you are able to do those things and boss that out, it just looks so good on you. And I just think that that's the way that you're going to win these cases. People don't really get it. It's like the less you make these children suffer, AKA like being, you know, acquiescing to people's wants and needs, helping the children have a relationship with the other parent. That's a literal factor within these judgments, is how well the other parent is going to facilitate a relationship between the other parent and the children. That's something that people forget.
These are often her own diagnosis of things that she's feeling they need to be at home or sent to the doctors for. Had nothing to do with the time with me. I have pictures of where they stayed and things like.
Oh, last thing. I might be wrong. Do you know, in the end, by the time we end this, I might be railing on her and saying, "My God, he is so smart." Anthony, that is interesting. I don't know why you would get a membership if you've never been here before. But welcome. Where are you from? Do you like watching court? That's the only thing I could think of. But we're a friendly bunch, so hi. That's like somebody that's like that's like when you're hosting a party at your house and somebody knocks on the door and they're like, "I did not get an invite to or I got an invite to this party, but I don't know anybody here." And you're like, "Well, come on in." Like, "Come on in, Anthony. Pull up a chair. We're watching court."
that. The mismanaging of, making a child feel like they need to be sent to therapy because they're attacking the other sibling when they are left to be in a room together with no other vice but electronics, and she is absent 90% of the day. And I have testimony from my son which states the amount of time that she takes to spend with him out of a given day. So those are all things I want to present to you. I guess the best way to do that is just to kind of get started. So P11 evidence will show pictures of her time while with Kevin.
Okay, Anthony, you're not into watching court. Now we have a few other questions. Does anything on the screen interest you at all? I'm really perplexed how YouTube Daddy, we call him YouTube Daddy, decided to make you come here. I mean, maybe you needed us. We're a pretty cool group of people. Is anything going on that you need to talk about? There's literally nothing off limits here. So let us know. I know court is a weird sort of sidebar to that, but that's the way it is.
Lori, which is after the TRO hearing, so it's most recent besides this new residence. It showed
Okay,
how
you're going to need to share your screen if you want to show me a piece of evidence and offer it into the record.
Okay, I didn't know how it works since submitted evidence, if I have to pull it up on my end or
Nothing's been admitted, so if you want to offer an exhibit, you have to display it on your screen and then you have to offer it, and we'll see if there's an objection or not.
okay. Well, just P12. Forgive me here. I'm just trying to pull this up. I'm trying to figure out how to show it.
There's a green button at the bottom of the Zoom screen that says share screen.
Wonderful. Thank you. I might have my self on that. Share content. Gotcha.
Oh my God. I don't think that's the case. The Cyber Squad, we can't say their name more than 3 times because it'll come to fruition or something like that. But what is going on here? I was a little concerned that this was my screen, but I remembered we're just watching a video. Anyways, Anthony, it doesn't matter how you got here. The whole point is that you're here. So, like I said, hi.
Okay, I don't know what that is, Mr. Wolf, but are you attempting to record this Zoom meeting? Because you do not have permission to do that.
I don't know why I'm clicking all kinds of buttons. I apologize for that entirely. I'm trying to.
No fucking. That's a 100p what he was doing. Wow. Oh, we gotta watch that again. Look at her face. Look at her face. Look at the judge's face. That is the flattest line I have ever seen. It is literally the emoji. She is literally that emoji. I can't even do it. This is a motion to modify custody, Anthony, in Texas between the gentleman up here and the lady right there. They are only just getting started. It's going to go for a long time, like over 3 days we're going to be watching this. So, you know, just we have, yeah, exactly that face. Her face is literally that emoji. Look at her face. It's absolutely that emoji. Miss Donna Orlando Chiquita. Thank you so much. Another membership. Who's gonna get this one? I'm here, got it. I was gonna be like little worried that people maybe, but we're glad that everyone's here. Steffi B's here. Hi, honey. Donna, how's the weather? Also, I didn't know that you live so close to the Villages. I would have gone and stood in front of the sign at the Villages and taken a picture if I knew that. So excited about our new members. Make sure that you've turned gifting on the channel. And if you're not sure what's going on here, just ask. We have a lot of fun. We watch court in the background because we are addicted to it. It is the best drama you've ever seen. Way better than the Kardashians. 70 degrees. It's still snowing outside. I'm nervous. Actually, I'm going to go check on the snow level and be back with a weather report shortly. But let's continue playing this a little bit. Again, this is just a note to myself. This is just me making a note to myself. Hey, Pace, it has now taken you 1 hour, 35 minutes to do 37 minutes of court. So, just know that. Just know that, Paisley. Just remember that.
Zoom meeting, okay. I'm sorry, my laptop was not working and I'm using a device that I'm a little unfamiliar with, so I apologize.
Oh, you're going back to see caught.
Okay, I don't know what that is, Mr. Wolf, but are you attempting to record this Zoom meeting? Because you do not have permission to do
Oh,
that.
I don't know why I'm clicking all kinds of buttons. I apologize for that entirely. I'm trying to Zoom meeting. Okay. I'm sorry. My laptop was not working, and I'm using a device that I'm a little unfamiliar with, so I apologize. As you can see, I'm having a lot of trouble here. P12 is showing basically the way that she interpreted a bed.
Okay, we can't see anything, Mr. Wolf.
Oh.
You're not sharing the screen.
And
Apologize, I did select that. Share content.
may I make an objection on foundation at this point, just so we can establish how to admit this evidence? It does not seem like Mr. Wolf is going to know how to set up a foundation for how to get this admitted.
Well, I think he's got to attempt to show it first, and he hasn't gotten there, so I think it's premature.
Your Honor, I asked that if the motion of continuance was received, that I had sent over and the reasons for it. You know, during the last illness I had that prevented me from being here, I'm sorry to sidetrack. I do.
Could you hear me that whole time? Okay, so here's me singing, saying I'm looking for my fake glasses, and also I know there was an echo because I had my mic on too. I know. That was me looking for my fake glasses. And so that's what happens behind the scenes minus the echo. It'll be better now.
Apologize, but the short span between that and the scheduled hearing, with all that had taken place, which is also provided in that motion of continuance, has not allowed me to obtain counsel, because they've all said that with allegations and things going on of that nature, I need more time to prepare. And it hurts me because I feel so prepared mentally, but things like this, I'm just not familiar with, and I'm fighting for what's best for my kids. And I know that you want this represented a special way, and I want that too, but I don't feel like I'm doing my kids justice or myself having to represent myself. These are concerns I brought up, and I tried to file that motion so you would see that. I was just wondering if you had the time to see that, Your Honor, and take that into consideration.
All right, Mr. Wolf, so I did see that you sent a motion for continuance, and I guess you filed it just a few days ago.
And there are reasons for that are outlined in what I included with that motion, if you would.
Okay, I understand that, but I just need to say that motion, although it was filed here recently, that is not set for a hearing today. In addition to that, the prior judge who heard your prior continuance on the 1st of November made it very, very clear that no further continuances would be entertained. So that's the end of that discussion. So on the bottom of the Zoom screen is a green button.
See that?
Says share screen. That's how you show the court any exhibit that you want to display before you attempt to offer it.
So hopefully this works this time. It's saying that the screen is broadcasting under the Zoom application. The only other option is to stop broadcasting, though the picture is not clear at this time. So I don't know if it's the transition of the material coming to the Zoom meeting, or...
We are not seeing any document. We're literally seeing something that says screen broadcast, which I have never seen before. I don't think you're clicking the right button.
Stop broadcast. Okay.
Share content is not the button. It's a button that says share screen. And I am concerned because it does appear like you are recording or broadcasting something.
I'm not familiar with this. I thought that was the share content. It's the only reason why I selected that. I promise I'm not trying to share any content whatsoever or anything like that. Now I don't know how to stop this share content. Your Honor, can I ask for a moment to kind of work out for me and take a small quick I don't know how to stop the share content. I can only.
Well, it's stopped. It's not, we're not seeing that any longer.
Hold on. First of all, is she so worried about people sharing content? Hi, Judge. How you doing? Go ahead and issue a contempt order. I actually would. Oh, this is dangerous. Should I be dangerous? I would love to get a contempt order for broadcasting these on YouTube. I think that'd be fun. I'm in Canada.
Hey, can I ask for a recess or anything like that, just so I can get this together, so I don't delay the court and waste anybody's time? It's not my intention. I apologize. I know it's just abruptly after starting, but I don't think it's going to do me any good or the court to feel like I'm doing something that I'm trying to understand and get better control of.
Okay. Have you looked at the bottom of the Zoom screen?
Yeah, I honestly don't have anything down below. I have the options up front, and I'm even minimizing that Zoom screen because I had, enlarged. I see my picture on the bottom right.
I'm gonna go get a drink while he's doing this.
And I have the only options up at the top, which is mute, stop video, share content, and so on.
Okay, you're not seeing a button for share screen.
No, I really
Share content. He just fucking said it.
am not. And again, I'm unfamiliar with this device. I apologize.
Okay. We can give you a few minutes to troubleshoot this, but Mr. Wolf, this modification is longer than a year old. So, and as I stated, the prior judge has already ruled no further continuances will be granted. So we're going to need to proceed. You've had 15 months.
Knock on wood. Yes, Jenny, knock on wood. Nobody's coming after my channel. Even though I do travel to the USA. Actually, I was in Houston last year. It sounds weird to say last year. I was in Houston and Florida last year. I hope to go back this year. Hashtag goals.
To
Correct, but
get ready for this hearing, and the parties requested a remote hearing. So if you weren't going to be able to handle the remote technology, you could have requested an in-person hearing, but it's too late for that at this point in time. So we'll give you until 2:50 to work on it. So take a few minutes.
I will say that I have heard people talk about channels, and I think they're talking about you, but nobody's coming for you, honey. Don't worry. We already have an agreement here, and my agreement filters over to you. They're gonna come. They're gonna cover our bail. Don't worry about it looking at legal stuff. Yeah, exactly, Mike. It's like if we're getting arrested for that, things must have improved.
And see what you can do in that time.
Thank you.
We'll all stay logged.
Why do I feel like I need these glasses so bad that have no lenses in them? They are for show. They're a prop. It's because I want them. I just want them. I will come see you, Dana. Next time I go to the Texas, I will set up a meetup, and we will do it.
On, you can mute or turn off your video in the meantime.
Thank you.
It. We got smooth. Houston, yes.
I'm going to try it once again. I'm sorry. The only options I still continue to see
We have a big problem with the mic. It hates me. I hate it.
All right, I'm just checking back in to see.
Judge, come in, Judge. As a matter of fact, I'm having a hell of a time with my mic. I don't know. Do you have any advice for that, Judge? Judge, at all? No? Okay. You think let it play a little bit and then shut the fuck up? Okay. Yeah, I'll try that.
Mr. Wolf, have you figured out the tech issue with the Zoom sharing screen?
I'm sorry, the only options I still continue to see are the share content button, which I'm selecting. I'm going to try it once again. Screen. In the screen broadcast. It's the same screen broadcast. And it's the same.
Yeah, that's not.
Now literally click out of that and start broadcasting.
How you share this, a document on Zoom. Okay, well, if you're not going to be able to share the document, then you're going to need to just tell me what you want to tell me.
Basically,
Mr. Wolf, you need to turn your video back on. We're in court.
Sorry. Okay, I apologize.
Whoa, Judge. I like that rule. Video's on, ladies and gentlemen. Video's on. Unless you are doing something that YouTube Daddy would not approve, then video's off.
There we go. Okay. The living conditions that they live in have been unsanitary. And I know I'm going to probably get a million objections because I can't get my evidence to show these things that I want to show, that will show the proof. The time that's spent, I have video recordings of my son that mentions the time that's spent with him, his studies, and how they aren't given any time to, or any place to do their studies. All the things I mentioned, the living conditions, and none of it fosters or has fostered their ability to grow or do what they need to do in order to maintain, proper schooling. I wanted to see what it would take even to bring my kids into being interviewed by yourself, so that way maybe they could project a better light, because they are of age to speak on their behalf. And I'm not an attorney, and I'm just sorry. I tried to get representation. It was a mere series of just crazy events that they've imposed on me during that time that caused no attorney to want to work with me or have the ability to do that. They all mentioned that they're happy to be my attorney, but they need more time. The other opposing counsel, in the documentation I provided with the continuance, sent information to my fiance's dean and made malicious allegations, all of which they said in order to combat that, we can't have just a few days. It's just not going to work like that. We need more time. And though they're willing to, I'm unable to have counsel, which puts me at a disadvantage. I didn't want to come in like this.
Your Honor, hearsay and relevance, mainly hearsay, as to the points of what other attorneys have told him. We have nothing to substantiate any of that. And as far as relevance, I believe he's referring to the midnight motion for continuance from Friday, which we've already resolved.
I'm actually referring to the malicious responses from you and the constant accusations that considered abuse and several other false things, including what on my now soon to be future fiance, and sending an email to her dean of her law school so that she can be thrown out.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Soon to be future fiance. I am a soon to be future fiance too. Did you guys know that? I am a soon to be future fiance. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that. I'm a soon to be future fiance. Um, Now the fact that she's in law school makes me understand what's going on. Is Chris with the fur here? Chris with the fur. Hey, hey, hey. This is a long one, and these people are already bothering me. I can't handle it. It's snowing outside. I forgot to go check. You guys, I have to go check on the snow. Can you guys just give me a minute? I'm gonna check on the snow. I'll come right back. I guess let's let him ramble. This judge has the best faces when we freeze and pause screen. So also, if she is a soon to be future fiance, did he just blow the fucking lid off that secret? I'm being serious. Does that make sure that, like, seriously, did he just say, like, oh, I'm gonna propose soon? And the girl's sitting over there, like, oh my God, I helped him with his lawsuit for his ex-wife of 11 years ago. And finally, he said he's gonna propose once we win. Like, ugh. Like, that's weird. Also, yeah, I know. I will measure in happy girlfriend measurements. Okay? I think we all know what those are, right? A generous inch. I give a generous inch. Like a bartender who gives a generous pour. I give a generous inch.
Unless I sweep the motion under the rug, as you stated in that letter. And Your Honor, these things that she put in this letter are grounds for disbarment. And that's why it was that time that I actually was able to initiate it. It's not meant to be a last minute thing or to waste the court's time, but it literally put me in a predicament where no lawyer could do something or represent me within that short amount of time. And I have responses from attorneys that mention that. That I reached out to. I mean, I was searching outside of the norm just to try to acquire representation, even at a limited scope.
Okay, Mr. Wolf, your attorney withdrew in.
Your attorney's pullout game is good. Let's put it that way. Your attorney has such pullout game that the judge let them pull out mid lawsuit. Okay, that's how good their pullout game is. Way better than your pullout game because you have 2 kids, at least that we know of, that are subject of this suit.
August
Because
2022.
Yes, ma'am. Only because.
Well, it doesn't matter why.
Well,
the attorney withdrew in August of 2022. So the argument that you have not had time to obtain an attorney is on its face absurd. And the continuance has already been ruled upon. We need to, you told me the living conditions are unsanitary. What are the details that support? That's an allegation. You've given me no facts to support it. I need facts. I need information. I need evidence.
So for 3 years, and I can, talk to their witness and prove this if they're telling the truth, that for 3 years I was responsible for bringing the kids to school and had to go and arrive at her place in order to make sure the kids were ready to do so. During that time, her apartment was roach infested, and by infestation, it was more than that sense. My kids would grab their cereal to make a bowl of cereal, and roaches would be coming out of it. There was.
What do you, sir? Okay, sir. Again, here we go. Here's what he should have said. Your Honor, there was such a bug infestation that every single day I arrived, I took my children out for breakfast. I was unwilling to feed them food that had bugs. Like, what do you just watch them pour out some fucking roaches and just be like, "Hey kids, you want milk? It's a little bit clumpy." What in the fuck? Like, and here's the other thing I just want to remind people of, okay? And again, here's me on my like high horse here. I'll raise myself up onto my high horse. Um, okay, actually I'll lower myself a little bit down, but your kids, okay, custody of them is actually fleeting. It's a short moment in their lives that will eventually be replaced by an adult child who remembers their childhood. Okay? Uh, T-Rex! Yay! We've been thinking about you. I saw you were live the other day. Thank you for being here. We're almost at 1,000 subs. But seriously, like, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me when you were a kid, like, if you grew up as a kid of divorce, that you that you wouldn't remember, oh my God, my dad used to like what you would remember is your dad ripping into your mom about that instead of him doing something. Again, he could be the hero. You could be the hero of these situations, sir. Like, become the hero. Become the hero that we need.
Mold and dirty dishes left for weeks on end. It took one of the witnesses that they're bringing and I a full 8 hours just to clean the boy's room. And the rest of the scope of the apartment was just cluttered to the point of a fire hazard. Instead of going to the apartment and asking for help, because of the way the condition of her apartment, she was worried that she was going to get evicted. So she was creating her own remedy with bombs and such from Home Depot. And
What? What? I was already pausing and then he said the last word and I'm afraid to repeat it. Did, we're going to go back. I'm not repeating it. If you guys can listen again. What?
And the rest of the scope of the apartment was just cluttered to the point of a fire hazard. Instead of going to the apartment and asking for help, because of the way the condition of her apartment, she was worried that she was going to get evicted. So she was creating her own remedy with bombs and such from Home Depot and not giving enough time for those bombs and that chemical to clear before moving back in and inhabiting that space again because she had nowhere else to go. And
Sir, can you have some fucking courtesy? We are on YouTube and YouTube daddy don't like that word. Okay? That's not good. We don't we don't have roaches here where I live. Do we? Looking at legal stuff, do we have roaches? I've never seen a roach. I saw them in actually in Florida and in Houston, but I've never seen one in my life here. We have a lot of outdoor stuff. A lot of like we live in a forest or in a temperate rainforest climate, but so there's a lot of outside stuff, but not that. I've never seen like that kind of bugs. Um, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we do have roaches, but I again never seen them. Um, we have big spiders. We have poisonous spiders. We don't have any poisonous snakes on our island though, which is so awesome because I have a weird fear of snakes. We do have bears. We do have cougars. We do have many other dangerous sort of predator animals, but I don't think we have roaches. Hi, Lizette.
my kids can testify to it. My kids call roaches their friends, and I have video and audio mentioning that. These are conditions that affected their health, not what's here. The health conditions are also my oldest son. She moved him to a GI specialist because of his constant trouble with stomach issues, but yet she fails to see or listen to the doctor that he's had his entire life, that have stated over and over, year after year, that his eating habits and what he's eating, being primarily fast food when with her, has caused these issues. And so she disregarded that and said, well, I still need to go and have a GI referral, which I've already started, and have him looked at, which he was deemed fine by the GI and no issues. But even with that being said, she has not corrected those habits of fast food all the time and malnutrition.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I ate fast food for years. Like multiple times a day, I would eat McDonald's for my breakfast and lunch, or breakfast and dinner, or whatever. Terribly unhealthy. I'm aware of that. My daughter ate very healthy. I did not. Um, it's not that. I mean, it's not great, but it's not the end of the world. Again, I just think he's just, it's like, do you give them salad at your house, or is it that they don't want to eat anything at your house when you're feeding them? And like, seriously, I'm not joking you when I'm saying that I ate too much absolutely unacceptable, maybe only McDonald's for a lot of the time. I never had to go to the hospital. Believe me, I didn't go to the hospital. So I don't think that that's a feasible thing. BC. Yeah, so we don't really have roaches that much. Okay, T-Rex is making steamed asparagus with garlic butter, air-fried pork chops, and rice. I'm hearing literal calls of whining from the other room, which I'm going to go deal with here momentarily while we listen to the rest of this. Can you guys give me some serenity, please?
I have the coach of the baseball team that can testify and has an audio that Braden and Connor went a week with just a plate, spaghetti as a means of meal, and he ended up passing out on the baseball field because of this. And he knows this because of my son and his relationship. They've known each other most of his life, and he's his confidant outside of myself. Those are huge concerns. And a lot of the reasons why she had them out was not, it was her saying that he had a headache, or that he needed to rest before going to the dentist appointment. Or that he didn't feel good, but she did all the checks and he was COVID free all the time, and no nausea and no outlying factors, but that he felt fatigued, and so she kept him home. And that's in her own words, in her own writing to the school. It's just really troublesome trying to go through this and not have the proper steps in order to do so. But those are reasons that I'm trying to bring up, and evidence I have that I would love to share. And I don't know if tomorrow, I'm going to make sure I have a different device come tomorrow, that's for sure, so that I can share this testimony and this information with the court, and not waste the court's time. I mean, I've worked so hard to provide a stable home, which is paid in full, has been since I bought it, that has their own space, their own rooms, that spawns creativity. I have plenty of things that we do throughout the day, and all the time is invested.
Hold on, why did that fucking start echoing even after I walked away? Sorry. Good night, Hector. I can't help them with dinner. I don't know what to give them. I don't know.
Invested in them when I have them, and when I don't have them, I spend my time. However, with her, she takes the time that she has the kids and still utilizes that for her time and going to concerts that are all-day events and night events. A concert in which I was actually at for the night portion, but before going to, I got a call from my son saying, Dad.
Also, Jim, what did you say earlier? Jim, you said, that the Vancouver Island has 6 kinds of cockroaches. That's interesting. But looking at legal stuff makes a good point. They are so uncommon. Like, I've never seen any in a house or apartment, even ones that are super disgusting. What you would say that would be much more common would be, T-Rex, Dino Nuggies for the win. That's a great idea. I think you'd get rats before you would get roaches on our island. Rats are quite common, um, in a yucky way. But there's so much forest. Like I've explained before, the island that I live on, that Looking at Legal Stuff lives on, is a vast island. And if you've ever watched the television show Alone on the History Network or History Channel, that it was filmed, many seasons were filmed on the island up north where it's really desolate and you're alone. But so there's lots of places for cockroaches to actually have a better environment than inside people's houses. Weirdly enough, there's just actually like a real ecosystem and forest available. So in some weird ways that protects us from some infestations, but and rodents are a huge problem. But again, we live by the ocean. Raccoons too. Beasties.
Is there any way you could stop by and get some food? Because mom didn't leave us with anything and we're hungry. How long has she been gone? All day. And this was a country concert that we both were at. And I mean,
so you both went to a country concert and left your kids at home alone, hungry? Weird.
These are things that are issues that are, the school records. It shows that, of course, she had to take them to the doctors because it all fell during her time. I get that. But those times that she had, we had the biggest attendance concerns. They were when we were doing a week on, week off. We didn't just start that new schedule until the TRO hearing. And even though that was 2 years ago, the attendance issue spawned way before that. It started with his first year in high school. And it was such a concern there that we had hoped by moving him, it would create new habits. And even he said, Dad, I know that sometimes I'm maybe not fully sick, but hey, I mean, and it's a teenager to do so. If he's going to be able to get away with it, he does. He was driven to school and said, man, my legs really hurt, in which she literally had him there a foot out of the car and said, why don't you just get back in, we'll go home. And he went home instead of being at school. I make sure that my focus is toward the kids and we're doing the right things. We built a business for the kids. We make sure that their time is spent with friends. They cannot have friends at the residence that they're at. This impedes their social interactions. She lives at a place where it contains also 2 Alzheimer's, folks, and not saying anything about that, but the kids can't be loud. The kids in the testimony from the psychologist that she took them to, which for that matter, my thought on the choices and the reason why me having concerns with that is she took them to a drug and rehab specialist that focuses on young adults and transitioning into its Austin Recovery Services. That's who she chose to have my child speak to, with concerns that he had a learning disability and that he was not getting along with his brother and instigating fights. But yet he was left in a room with just his brother and no one for the period of the majority of the day outside of an hour and a half to 2 hours. And that was a discussion that we have on audio record that talks about, why do you feel like you were put to therapy? Were you told ahead of time? No, I wasn't. Were you forced? I wasn't forced, but I was told that I can't do anything. I have to do this. And even the testimony from the psychologist says they only felt comfortable with you. And the concern that he had was that the kids are not able to have the creative and ability or foster things with friends and other outlets that would prevent just being left in a room with your brother. I had a brother the same.
Okay, but these kids are 13 and 17. And I'm a little perplexed as to what you want them to do. Sign them up for fucking classes then. Again, here we go. Here's my take on it. If I was his attorney or a friend trying to tell him how to prepare for this hearing, I would say, what I would do is sign him up for fucking coding, for art, for cooking, for classes at the rec center. Get them a membership to the rec center so that they're allowed to go swimming. Get them a gym membership so that they can exercise. And then, when she doesn't let them use it, you look like the fucking saint. Okay? Again, complaining about these things without providing any solution. What would happen if you two were together? Would you just do everything? Is that what you're saying? In reality, It's still two people working together. Okay. Some people are better at other things than others. And so it doesn't make sense to me how you're just sitting complaining about it. Again, if I was hearing what I did to fix this problem, and this was why this is a problem for me, and this is why, Your Honor, I should be responsible for our children primarily, I would be actually listening very clearly. But all I'm hearing is whine, 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 whine. My kids are miserable and I'm leaving them there and taking pictures of it and documenting it so that I can tell you about it.
Because I know what that's like. You're going to drive each other's crazy. But instead, he came out feeling like he was being attacked and the only one who was doing something wrong, when those behaviors do not happen here. I have countless evidence of him and his brother. They work well here. They play well together. We do things as a family. They're included. We have dinners as a family. We have discussions. That doesn't change. It never has. But that doesn't go on at her residence. She spends majority of time in her room, either on her phone or some other device, talking with her boyfriend, and they're left to basically be on electronics all day. They brag about being on for 13 hours of a day and joke about it, but it's not funny. I mean, I want to remain lighthearted with them about it. I try to say that it's probably one of the best things that we can do with our time. But what they're doing with their time is not growing them. It's not, they don't have any resources or anything there at the place because she keeps moving from place to place. Everything's in storage. And during this time that she was left without or in this struggle, she's buying things like ice cream makers and popcorn machines from people on Marketplace and bragging about it to the coach as a means for being late to a baseball game.
What? Is this a joke? Is this now a joke? Dude, why are you watching what she's buying on Marketplace? Why do you know this? Why are you talking about it? Again, once again, why you should have an attorney. Also, Chris, of course, I try and make it fit on the screen. I'm learning. I'm adapting. I'm becoming a better creator day by day by day. So we're getting there. I mean, so she's bought an ice cream maker for her kids to do something outside of electronics. She bought a popcorn maker for cheap snacks. I mean, I'm really perplexed right now why he's doing that. Like, what is he talking about? Again, and he sounds real pissed about the boyfriend, doesn't he?
When asked, and it's on a recording, and they can testify that I'm those are things that I have concerns with. It's not the fact that I'm trying to pull weight with them seeing their mom or trying to pull power struggle, which this has been, but it has never been about the kids, because in all the decisions that she's made, bringing the police in, saying that we're needing, visitation with supervision and everything, that's never been the case. The kids have always been happy, and they're being put through this turmoil. The fact of the matter is, during the TRO hearing, we had appointments for exchanges in which she never showed up. The kids literally went with me at every attempt of exchange that they were well aware of where we needed to be, and she didn't show. Further, she never even called the kids and explained maybe why she didn't show. She had plenty of avenues, because we weren't on the band app at the time, to reach out to
her. I bet if you had mentioned that before you mentioned the ice cream maker and the popcorn maker, it might seem like that mattered more to you. But it's now obvious, like, you laid this out and really they were level to you. And again, I would have led with that. Your Honor, unfortunately, I have been taking my children to visitation regularly and she doesn't show up. My children are upset about this and I have to deal with the aftermath of it. You don't need to fucking project to the judge. She, again, buddy, I don't know what the degree is behind you, but I can tell you that she's smarter than you. 1,000%. Hundy P.
us. And me to ask, where are you? If it was me and my kids and I was to do exchange, even if I didn't know or I was unsure or things were, just convoluted to where I didn't understand what was going on, I'd be texting, where are you? Where are my kids? She trusted me to take them when she lost everything in her home in a matter of a day or two with no notice. Why did she trust me if she's stating all this is the case? Why would you trust me to take him on full time? Why would you allow my oldest son to make a decision, even at underage, to stay with me and grant that decision to him? It doesn't make sense.
What? You're right. That doesn't make sense. Did you just complain about her acquiescing to allow him to stay with you? Are you fucking stupid? Did he? Is he? He. He didn't.
Lost everything in her home in a matter of a day or two with no notice. Why did she trust me if she's stating all this is the case? Why would you trust me to take him on full time? Why would you allow my oldest son to make a decision, even at underage, to stay with me and grant that decision to him? It doesn't make sense. What they're saying, all these allegations, they're all false. They have no merit. There's nothing that they could do to prove this. And it's troublesome because it's dragging my kids through this, and they're sitting there waiting for their mom and going, finally, the fourth time we tried to do an exchange, like, Dad, I don't want to be here. Why can't we just go home? Why do we have to be here? She's not going to show.
Vicky, I don't know why it's taking so long to pop up. This is his heart, by the way, broken still. His future fiance, what did he call her? Future, what was it? Anyways, thank you, Vicky. Appreciate all your support, all your comments. Seriously, comments help more than you guys know. They're so integral to YouTube Daddy. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
With no contact to them. And then I was demanded to give her extra time for those missed encounters. A big statement from her was that I took the kids away from her without her consent for a California trip and impeded her time. I did not. She was well aware of the California trip well in advance. It was for my son's 16th birthday, which I did a great thing and brought him to a baseball field for the home run derby that he loves and is passionate about.
Streamlabs, report to me after this stream about Vicky as well, please. That was not acceptable. Vicky had hers. You didn't do it. Thank you, Cellulite Yoga Pants. Sorry, Vicky.
And I gave her the
Kurt, I need you to slow down a little bit, please.
Oh, I apologize. I apologize. But I gave her the week prior, which was my week, so that she can have the kids and she didn't feel like she was losing time. And then on what would have been her weekend that she said I left on, I didn't leave till Sunday after the time the normal exchange would have happened anyway. So I didn't impede her time. But I've been spending so much time focusing on having to, debunk these allegations and all what they're saying. It's exhausting. And I understand without the proper documentation, you're only taking my testimony and I'm sworn in and I'm absolutely telling the truth 100%. And if my statements are not enough, I had hoped that my evidence was enough. And if not, the reason why there was such a delay between back then and I had the time was her counsel fell off, stopped talking to us after we put a Rule 11 in place that required that a custody evaluator happen. Now, mediation was an option to be discarded or, ruled over by a given party. I understand that. I offered to pay for the entire custody evaluation cost. They stopped responding to my attorney. I have an email from my attorney which accounts for the fact
It hates me. Why does it hate me? It hates me. Oh, there. Oh, hi. Yeah, now it's working. Hi. Yeah. I'm sorry for touching you so much, microphone. Is that the problem? Did I forget to? Oh my God. Microphone, is it okay if I touch your button today? I forgot to ask consent earlier and I apologize. Exclamation mark.
that they stopped communicating with him after multiple attempts by him and us to reach out. Haley, the counsel, did not respond, and we were left in that quandary of what do we do? That's the only reason why we mutually agreed to release his, I guess, my counsel, because nothing was moving forward and I was not being given any options to move forward myself. I would have happily paid for a custody evaluator. That's a requirement in Rule 11. That's why I put that in place. I asked for that. I wanted a third party to be able to see the homes and witness what goes on and have a chance to speak to those children who I'm fighting all this for. And
No, Grim, you did. I changed something where I'm moving the cord more, and I have to fix it. It's not on.
who have come to me as a confidant and who are only comfortable with coming to me, and even my fiance for that matter, because that's what we've created. And here I am today trying to fight this fight, and I'm just doing them such an injustice. And the weight that puts on me is just unbelievable. But I'm here willing to fight the fight because it's what's right. It's the truth. And
please work, please work, please work. Fight the fight. It's what's right. Fight the fight. It's what's right. Yes, the microphone works. But I will get a pad and paper for emergencies here. Fight the fight. It's what's right.
you're always here. The truth will set you free. Believe in God. Believe in doing the right thing, and it will prevail. It will show its way. But technology has killed me, and the ability to have proper counsel, even to obtain my most recent, my past counsel, would be happy to. He even told me I'll be happy to jump back on. But everything needs time because of all these root allegations and things that she's created that we're going to have to fight before we're even able to prove our points. And the history of her allegations have already been received and shown as false. I don't have an arrest record. I hold licenses in every state where that would be, I would lose everything if I did that. You know, my jobs, I've had.
Yay, Chris said. Popcorn machine and new microphone fund. Yeah, heck yeah, baby. Did an attorney fall? Oh my God. Holy shit. Now we're not even joking, William. She looks unconscious. Hold on. Oh, fuck. I touched it again. The microphone might not work. Seriously, you guys, somebody needs to go back and figure out when she fell like that. She looks fucked up. Oh my God. Thank you again, Chris.
Great jobs. I maintain stability here. They're given healthy foods here. And things have been changed all to better and accommodate for what the doctors mentioned to keep them from illnesses. But because I'm not at the other place, it always falls in that. And she always tries to put blame, even in the app and messages, that he said he was feeling sick before this, but he was not, and he never did. You know, there's times where she's instigated things such as, well, I'm sure you don't want your father at this doctor's appointment when he had to go for his shoulder for baseball. And basically it was complete insinuating to him that when he never said or mentioned anything like that. And I can keep him out of the doctor's room if you need me to, if that helps. He goes, I don't care if he comes anymore. I don't care. And that's been my kid's.
I don't care if he comes anymore is exactly the reason we got divorced, Your Honor. That's all she said to me was, I don't care if you come anymore. I don't care if you come anymore.
Common response as we have these battles, I guess, so to speak, about what's best for them, because by I just don't know. I would like her to be able to prove to me what we have done in our residence to make her feel like she could not have come in the days that she did with a small amount of notice and ask me to take on these kids full time, and why she felt comfortable to do that, but yet imposes things like supervised visits and concerns with drug abuse, all this stuff that I can't do. I'm tested all the time.
Why are you tested all the time? That's weird in itself. Another thing you're admitting. Maybe it's good, but you didn't admit it properly. What the fuck? Again.
My history and work ethic would not, and my upbringing would not allow it. And
All
now
right,
people,
Oh my God, yet again, dude. She's smarter than you'll ever be. Okay? You understand that she knows that addiction, drug use, all of that doesn't follow economic background necessarily. Are you stupid? My background won't allow me to do drugs. Bitch, please.
you've used about an hour of the time that you have allotted for this hearing. I know you'll want to save some time so that you can cross-examine the witnesses that Ms. Wolf's attorney will be calling.
yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Okay, do you pass yourself as a witness?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Hobron, do you have any?
Oh, I'm sure she does have questions for him. Fine, we'll keep going. I just can't stop. I wanna watch him be cross-examined. I wanna know if she's awake. Does she need an energy drink? Does she need a line? Does she need a dab? Like, what do we need to do to get this attorney firing on all cylinders here so that we can get some fucking action?
Questions for Mr. Wolf?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
All right. For the record, can you please state and spell the name of your paramour, Sasha McClellan?
Sasha Mc.
Hold on. So I always critique pro se litigants on their first question, and I'm going to do the same with her. These two are still hung up on each other. These two are still hung up on each other. That's what's happening here. What's going on? Why do you give a fuck who he's fucking? Why do you care who's fucking who? Oh my God.
McClellan. That's Sasha. Last name is spelled Maclennan.
And when you are discussing your fiance, you are talking about Sasha, correct?
That is correct.
Does Sasha reside with you?
Yes.
Please ask him when he proposed and how. Please ask him when he proposed and how. I would risk my law license to ask that. I don't have a law license, first of all, but
She does.
Is Sasha subject to any sort of court proceedings that would prohibit her from being in possession of children or anything of that nature that should be of concern?
First of all, I can.
okay, yet again. If the answer isn't no, the words out of his mouth are always not going to be no. Because if the answer was no, you would just say no. No. What a fucking back pocket move. Your future fiancé, Sasha, is not allowed around children? Wow, way to pick 'em. Allegedly. Also, I, as an attorney, on redirect at this point, which is what she's on, or cross-examination, I would interrupt him right now. He said, well, first of all, I would redirect and reiterate and say, this is a yes or no question, sir. Is she or is she not subject to a court order that prevents her from being around children? Please answer yes or no, and then you can elaborate if needed. That's what I would do.
Answer that. However, I would like to speak to that. I can see relevance, but that shouldn't be
Objection,
relevant.
Your Honor, non-responsive.
Sustain. Answer the question.
No, she does not have anything restricting any of her abilities to do anything whatsoever. She is highly educated and in law school, so there's a lot of checks that go in with going to Baylor University. As you know.
No, there isn't. What are you talking about? Are you? Good night, Vicky. Love ya. Is Sasha gonna show up later? Possibly. Highly educated. Iowa's here late. No worries, Iowa. How is the snow with you? We got a fuck ton of it. Um, they don't they start preventing you from becoming a lawyer after you pay to go to law school. They take your money to go to law school, no fucking problem. Don't you worry about it. Believe me, there's ample law school places that will take people with backgrounds that are unscrupulous. It's getting to pass the bar that is the issue, I'm pretty sure.
Your Honor, being yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. That answers my question. Moving forward, so that we can try and get to the meat of this, because Mr. Wolf, you didn't have the structure of questioning because you're representing yourself. So I'm hoping this is an opportunity for you with some structure and being questioned that you can answer a few things for us.
On answering, I'm absolutely being
wonderful. Okay. So you say that the children come to you and your fiance in confidence to discuss these things. Do you mean that you are disclosing facts about this litigation to the children?
Absolutely not. They come to me with statements about their day and their time while at their mom's, because I'm interested in what did you get?
But you can go to law school, right, William? You can go to law school. You just probably won't gain admission to the bar. But what my point is that almost anybody can get in law. Not anybody, but I'm saying that law school does not check your background in the same way. Some do, absolutely, exclusive schools. But it's not presumptive that you will pass a ethics review to become a lawyer just because you got into law school, is what I'm trying to say, in a legalese type of way.
Chance to do this week. Those are questions, if anything, that are asked. Otherwise, they.
I'm so sorry. Pause. I'm so sorry, Your Honor. Today is fire inspection, the annual fire inspection in my apartment. I just have to let them in. This is may I do that real quick?
Yes.
Great. Hi, sorry.
What?
I'll leave it unlocked. Top 10 most embarrassing things that have ever happened to me.
Hold on. Are you joking? Tell me you're privileged without telling me you're privileged? Are you joking? That wouldn't even make it onto a blooper reel of Zoom shit that I put onto YouTube when I look for this shit all day, girl. That wasn't embarrassing at all. What? What's embarrassing is that you just said that. That is actually embarrassing because it just shows your privilege. But how can that absolutely possibly be on your top? I'm thinking of something that happened on my top 10 most embarrassing list where somebody knocked on my door, but I had a couple other people already inside of my door doing other things. But this person that was knocking on my door was the cable guy and scheduled to come in. And so I allowed that person to come in, and then other activity continued in another part of the home. And there was sort of this intercepting thing happening. And I'm just saying that ranked pretty high. this ranks nowhere.
I apologize for that, and I apologize for disrupting the flow. Have
Go
you
ahead.
had Mr. Wolf, have you had an opportunity to review respondents' exhibits that were uploaded to Box for the first hearing and for today?
Yes.
So you're aware of their contents?
Not of the contents, just a list of what they were bringing, not of the content.
Okay, so you did not review the evidence that was uploaded to be brought against you?
No.
Okay. Have you requested a copy of the children's medical records from their primary care physician?
I have access to that.
That
I have access to those records.
Have you requested the documents so that you actually have the medical records for the children?
Yes.
Okay. So you have their full medical records and can refer to those?
Yes.
Okay. And you're aware those records do say that Braden has a stomach issue?
Yes. I didn't refute that.
So when you say that it's just because of the way he eats or that it's how he's eating at the respondent's house, you're not denying he has a stomach issue. You're just saying it would be curable if he just changes his diet. Is that correct?
I'm saying that the doctor diagnosis was that his stomach issues are related to his eating habits. And that's what was said in the request to the GI.
So you have access.
I need to interrupt because y'all are doing a terrible job of question and answer. I need.
Somebody gotta clip that. Somebody has to timestamp me that. Judge. I know she's talking about talking over each other, but I just like that part. I just like that part. Oh my god. I pressed the wrong button.
One person talking at a time. Ms. Hobron asks a question, then Mr. Wolf answers it. No talking over each other. The record's going to be terrible if you continue to do that.
The record's already terrible, Judge. Let's be fucking honest. Thus far, literally, this is a terrible lawsuit. It's been laid out terribly by both the attorney and the wannabe attorney here. It's just sad for all of us.
Go ahead.
All right. Do you happen to have, you said that you had the medical records for the children. Do you happen to have the medical record that shows that Braden, it's an eating disorder versus a stomach disorder?
No, I don't have a record that states specifically there was an eating disorder.
Moving forward with Connor, you did briefly mention, I believe, the psychotherapy. Have you had an opportunity to look at the exhibits that respondent has submitted that includes just the notes from Connor's psychotherapist?
Yes, and I received those notes as well directly from the therapist.
And do you disagree with the therapist's presentation in those notes that you were combative and got into a thing with him?
The beginning of our conversation.
Hold on. A thing? You had me. I was like combative. Oh, shit. We have therapist notes that talk about him being combative. That's going to be juicy. But if they just list getting into a thing, I have some questions about that. Also, listen, we're not going all night. Oh my god, my boobs literally fall. Thank you, Jonathan, by the way. I appreciate that. When are we gonna stop? We're gonna stop in the next, I don't know, 16 minutes.
Conversation was direct questioning to him. He felt as if I was an attorney. Once we cleared that matter up, there was no problems, and we worked cohesively together to understand what took place with my son while he was.
Objection, Your Honor, not responsive. I'm asking yes or no, and then if I need more information from
Yes.
you. Yes, you disagree with his notes in that. That you two got in an altercation when you called his office.
Yes.
Okay.
I just
You have read those notes that say that Connor is having attachment issues with his older brother entering adulthood and getting ready to leave the house, but you do not agree that that is a reason to go to psychotherapy for a child who's 13. Is that correct?
No.
I think I phrased this terribly. So you do not think, you do not think that having relationship difficulties with your sibling is sufficient cause for a child to go to psychotherapy. Is that correct? Yes or no?
Yes, approving.
Honey, you don't need to do it like this. I figured it out. So this is somebody who is a lawyer but doesn't practice. Remember at the beginning she told the doctor that she told the judge that she's applying for disability, she can't really go that long. She's not a No offense. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think she's a practicing lawyer very often. I think her friend is literally her friend. And she's like, I need to sue this guy about this. And she's like, you're a fucking lawyer. You got to help me. You don't work all day. We just sit and talk all day and we talk about this. How come we can't fucking do this? And she's like, well, I guess I could. I don't really want to. I don't like being a lawyer. That's why I'm not doing a lawyer. I'm applying for disability. And she's like, yeah, but I need you to help me. And he's being all weird and he has that diploma in the background. He has that weird shelf. Oh, okay, well, I guess I'll help you a little bit. But, I have my fire inspection drill that day, and I don't, and that's the vibe I'm getting here from this lawyer. That's the luster ability.
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe that the kind of tension that's happening between you and Miss Wolf is sufficient reason for the children to go to psychotherapy?
Sure. Absolutely.
Is that why you had no problem?
Good night, Chris Engelby. Thank you so much again for all your support and help and comments. I hope I'm wrong. I hope she practices all day long, but I get the vibe she don't.
With Braden going to psychotherapy after the divorce?
I was not made aware of that until after the fact. So there's nothing I could do about it. I could choose to be okay with it or not. It happened, and I don't have a problem with therapy, if that's your question. I believe in therapy. I think it's a good thing.
How long was Braden in therapy?
Like I said, I wasn't even given that information. So as far as specifics, how many meetings, who he met with, she never provided. So I don't know.
Okay, let's do some more recent basic things.
Sure.
You are aware that she has not lived in the house that you've been talking about that was the subject to the TRO hearing, the temporary orders hearing, that she hasn't lived there in over a year and is in another household. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you have any complaints about her current household?
Yes.
Can you elaborate?
My youngest does not have a space of his own. The space that should have been shared is not managed to where neither of them have things that other than electronics to do, nor do they have anyone to spend time with.
You are aware that both boys now have their own room, correct?
No, not in any way. That has never been disclosed to me. I understand that my youngest sleeps on the couch in an open office that is a shared space and not something that she's rented. I'd like to see the lease agreement where it shows that she rents 3 rooms, if so.
All right. Can you describe for me, in your period of possession, what kind of foods you're feeding the children in order to accommodate Braden's stomach issue?
They're all healthy choices. They contain the 4 food groups, I guess, so to speak. I mean, there's vegetables included with every meal. There's no fast food. It's very limited. We do maybe a fast food to give them a treat once every 3 weeks. That fast food is generally one of 2 things. It's either Chinese food or pizza. We're Italian, so we can't get away from the pizza, so to speak, but we definitely limit carbs and things that would cause high triglycerides and so on that have affected, when we were made aware of that, we had balanced meals, pre-planned, put together meals, healthy snacks for the kids. We changed the whole snacks. And I have pictures showing plenty of that within fridges and the pantries and always available to them.
Mr. Wolf, I need you to adjust your camera so that your face is within the Zoom box. And Ms. Wolf,
Mr. Wolf, oh my God, finally it's working. The internet's fucking up, but really what's fucking up is that I'm trying to talk and I'm going triglycerides. Is that what he literally just said? We have to go back. He did not just say he's doing this because of triglycerides. And my microphone has been giving me heck this whole time.
Put together meals, healthy snacks for the kids. We changed the whole snacks. We're Italian, so we can't get away from the pizza, so to speak, but we definitely give them.
Actually, that whole exchange was weird. The Italian thing, like, we're going to watch it again. Also, I would love some more emojis in the chat, please. The straight-faced emoji, just like the judge is right now. That exact emoji. If you could please spam the chat with that exact emoji. Thank you.
Lease agreement where it shows that she rents 3 rooms, if so.
All right. Can you describe for me, in your period of possession, what kind of foods you're feeding the children in order to accommodate Braden's stomach issue?
They're all healthy choices. They contain the 4 food groups, I guess, so to speak. I mean, there's vegetables included with every meal. There's no fast food. It's very limited. We do maybe a fast food to give them a treat once every 3 weeks. That fast food is generally one of 2 things. It's either Chinese food or pizza. We're Italian, so we can't get away from the pizza, so to speak, but we definitely limit carbs and things that would cause high triglycerides and so on that have affected, when we were made aware of that, we had balanced meals, pre-planned, put together meals, healthy snacks for the kids. We changed the whole snacks. And I have pictures showing plenty of that within fridges and the pantries and always available to them.
Mr. Wolf, I need you to adjust your camera so that your face is within the Zoom box. And Ms. Wolf, I need you to do the same. Okay, thank you.
And are you aware, you did mention it, are you aware that Connor has high triglycerides?
That report was in 2022, I believe. When in fact it was stated as 2020 and I was made aware when I was not. So the triglyceride concern and the high levels were actually out of whack in 2022 and well in line with where they should have been in 2020. Along with 2021, they were actually even lower than they were in 2020, showing that there was no concerns with this triglycerides. It wasn't until the document that shows on the in 2022 that there was a concern with the levels. Sorry for making that long.
No problem. Your Honor, I'd like to introduce Respondent Exhibit 6 into the record. And let's see if I do any better with sharing the screen.
Sure, you're gonna do better. Can't get much worse than me.
Is it Sharon? Can you see this exhibit?
Respondent 6,
Yes.
yes.
Mr. Wolf, do you recognize this text message conversation?
I do recognize her words being written, but I don't see anything showing the actual doctor's information from the actual facility itself.
Do you see the date that these text messages were exchanged?
I do see that.
And you agree that the second set is from Monday, November 9th, 2020?
I agree that that is what she is informing me, but not what that it is, what it is, what it was with the facility.
And for the record, it reads, don't forget the 60, if it helps, the money gets withdrawn from my account on the first every month. Connor's triglycerides are high per doctor. He needs to cut pasta, white bread, sugary drinks, add omega-3 vitamins, 1,000 milligrams per day, and exercise 60 minutes per day.
Okay. So she has a habit of
Hold on for a second. Pause. Do you agree that that's what that says?
I can read that as stated in that text message, yes.
Do you deny that you received this text message over 3 years ago?
No, I don't deny it.
Can you explain to me why you believe that he was only diagnosed with a triglyceride problem during the pendency of this case starting in 2022?
Because there's no medical record that shows otherwise. Where's the medical record that shows where his triglycerides were at in 2020?
So you're saying that you lied under oath that you requested and had access to those medical records?
No, I have the medical records. I just can't show them, unfortunately, because of the trouble I'm having. That's part of my exhibit, and they're in normal range with the document I have from the doctor's office. I apologize. Again, this is my fault, I guess, for the machine I'm working on and not being familiar. But I do have that record, and I do have it showing what those triglyceride levels were at that time in 2020, 2021, and I can show in 2022 where they were a concern. So I can speak to that text. I see the text, I can read it, but it's not correct.
What is not correct about this text?
The fact that she's saying his triglyceride levels are high per the doctor. They were in normal range.
Did you call the doctor?
No, I didn't call the doctor. It doesn't show, there's no notes saying that it was a heightened concern. This would be her creating that diagnosis of her own thoughts when she's not medically professional. She doesn't have a medical background to do so. But it's online. I mean, it's online in the ARC charts. Anyone can access it if you have access. And that's what I use to find the information that you're asking me today.
So let me clarify. So the respondent told you that his triglycerides were high. You have access to the doctor's office to get the medical records. You declined to call the doctor, but you don't believe what she told you because she's not a medical professional. Is that correct?
With the discretion of what she said in the past, absolutely. I don't hear it unless it's heard from the doctor. I don't take it as a guarantee. I will be concerned with it, but the levels were well in line with where they should be. And the fact that their levels in 2022 were much higher, and the fact in 2021 they were lower than 2020, I don't see how 2020 was a concern.
Do you have any sort of medical training?
I do not. However,
Okay, I'm gonna let you finish that and then we're done for the evening. Thank you guys for being here. I'll pull a call in. Remember that I love you, I'm proud of you, and I'll see you in the next video, which will be coming out tonight. I'll let this play out for another few minutes and then it will be over at a time. But remember that I love you. I will talk to you later. Bye.
I do show the levels were in the green, where it notes triglycerides, and I can show by phone. I mean, I guess I can show by phone if that's admissible. Where I'm accessing the panel for Connor. I don't know where the camera, I guess here. And it shows the triglycerides in green at 143. Now, if there's something from the doctor.
Okay, buddy. Nobody can fucking see that. I'm not having any fun, Courtney. I'm dealing with whining babies. Anyways, I will we'll let this go. I'll let him answer this question, then we're done. I love you guys. Bye.
Office that's saying 143 is high and outside of the levels it should be at. I would assume, as the doctor told me, anything within the green is good, and at least not a high level concern. But obviously, there's ample opportunity to reduce that. But it's not to where it's a concern, as she's mentioning here, or something that would make it that I'm disregarding his health in any way. I thought, from what I understood, I believe it was like up to 150, and it says right here, up to 150 is in range, and he's at 143. So I don't understand why this has become such a focus, and you're using this as a means to show that I'm not being responsive or responsive to that.
Well, then
Well, then I guess we'll figure out the rest tomorrow. I love you guys. Bye.